How's it going, folks? It's Lobo and welcome back to the channel. And today we have episode 3 of House of the Dragon, and this series is moving by very fast. We're almost halfway through season 1, which is actually crazy to think about. But so far, I will say I'm enjoying the show. Last episode was a bit more on the slower side, which is not a problem at all for me because I really enjoy storytelling. But from what I've heard about this episode and it's sort of in preparation for it on social media and stuff, they said this episode, I don't know if there's going to be a battle, but they said this one is going to be more action focused, so that's exciting. I'm interested to see some cool choreography and visuals. Hopefully, we have the same showrunner who did Battle of the Bastards, but unfortunately, news broke that he dropped out for season 2 a couple of days ago. So I'm like, oh, that sucks. And one thing I'd also like to mention is, of course, I said like a week and a half ago that I recorded my Daredevil season 1 finale reaction. That is still done. That is going to have to come out after this episode. I had a busier than I intended weekend, so I didn't have a lot of time to do things. So unfortunately, this episode is going to come before that, as well as my season 2 intro reaction to Daredevil season 2. And then, of course, the X-Men reaction. That's just all going to come at some point this week. So just if you're interested in that, I'm just letting you know. That is still on the way, but it's going to have to come in a few days. And I'm already sweating, so I guess it's time to stop talking and just watch the damn show. So here we go, episode 3. I'm excited, and let's do this.
Cole.
I choose Sir Kristen Cole.
I'm sorry, this is the preview going on right now, but I've said this a lot of times. I have a TV, a 20-inch TV that is plugged into my PC. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but usually the quality is very shitty. But for some reason right now, it is outstanding. I don't know if HBO upgraded the 4K resolution because they do have a bit of issues with HD quality, but holy shit, this looks so good right now. And I have no idea why. I'm gonna have to get an actual monitor at some point. Because I can't keep doing this. It just negates my enjoyment for the show. Or what could be the fullest potential of it. I saw a lot of memes after this aired last week when people are like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And you can't replicate perfection. And that much is true. So I'm still kind of glad they kept this intro. I mean, it's different visually, but sound-wise, you can't top that, so might as well not try. Still so weird to hear that. Fuck. A seahorse. It's not quite what they look like. That person took it a bit more literally. I'm gonna guess this is the crab feeder again. 'Cause I see ships, yeah.
Fuck you, Prince Greyheart. Fuck your whore mother and bastard father out.
Someone whistling? Oh shit, it's a dragon. It's got a long neck. I think that's Damon's dragon. This guy refuses to die before he gets out any more words. This dude wouldn't shut the fuck up and he died. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Damon strikes me as the type that does not care about collateral damage. Still learning my names, but I think the dragon's name is Caraxes, if I'm remembering that correctly. Very long neck, but a very cool design. And it also has like little bat wings between its legs or something. I've never seen that on a dragon before. It's a very unique design. Is that grayscale or just regular burn marks? It kind of looks like something you'd see in the ocean. I'm trying to remember. Some kind of sea creature. It's probably like an extinct dinosaur, but it's just so slender and long, and the way it moves is very serpent-like. Such an interesting design. I think that's my favorite dragon in the show so far. Another time jump?
It is Egan's second name day. His infancy is behind him. It only remains for Viserys.
Oh shit, he had a son?
I'm Lord Hand.
Your Grace.
Surprised he has that hair color.
The crab feeder has dug in for siege on Bloodstone while his men sabotage our fleet under the cover of dark.
Not today, Tyler.
Don't lose an arm, Torsten. He's from Vikings. At this point, he's already married and he already has a kid with Alicent.
The Valarian forces have suffered heavy attrition, Your Grace. The seeds of dissent are sown amongst the rank and file.
Now, after so long, it would make the crown appear weak.
Can someone tell me where in the seven hells Rhaenyra might be?
A lot of time jumps so far. When is the show gonna like slow down a bit? Because it's getting fast paced, jumping from event to event.
Your Grace.
Did I say to stop?
She's queen now. Her best friend is her stepmother.
You are to stay by order of the princess.
The Queen commands you to leave the Godswood at once.
This guy does not know what to do.
Your Grace.
I have higher rank.
Is it the king's command?
Yes, but
Then at once, your grace.
Very awkward situation. And I can see Rhaenyra has not taken well to it.
You will be with your own child sooner than later. And make me a proud grandsire. How would you like to participate?
I'm not sure why I must.
Because you are my daughter, the princess.
Please don't choose more than one color for that carriage. It's literally just one shade of gray. Oh, I love that. The landscape in the background, you can see King's Landing, the Red Keep. Such a cool shot.
Hail, hail, Edward the Conqueror, babe, second of his name.
Whoa, he's Aegon the Second? I mean, Jon's name in the show was Aegon, but I don't know what it's going to be in the books. Did his hair get longer?
Your dear uncle is the great mind behind this war, is he not?
I wouldn't know. I've not spoken to Damon in years.
Since you supplanted him as heir.
Send fleets and men and clear out the Triarchy for good.
But the crown is sort of...
She just has a pug. Okay. Damn, with how fast this is moving, by the time we get to season 3, these people are gonna be like 90 years old. It's a lot of time jumps.
Lord Jason Lannister.
Gathered that from all the lions.
I don't think we've been properly introduced.
Wasn't he also in season 1 of Game of Thrones? He played the knight that got stabbed through the neck. Maybe he was a descendant.
Of course, but I do have the means and resources to build one.
Why would you need...
To house dragons, of course. I'd do anything for my queen. Or lady wife.
I knew he was trying to pull something. Kind of a clown, though.
Jason Lannister is an excellent match.
He's arrogant and self-serious.
Well, I thought you might have that in common. Since you came of age, often to discuss it with you, but you've refused me at every turn.
That is because I do not wish to get married.
Even I do not exist above tradition and duty, Rhaenyra.
Excuse me, Your Grace.
It's okay, people. Resume. Oh, it's so awkward.
Princess, wait!
He's like, shit, I gotta do my job. I know there's like a big forest in the Stormlands, maybe? Or the Kingswood, or is that the same thing? Is he trying to grab her?
When your father named me to his King's Guard, it was the highest honor any Cole had ever known. All that I have, I owe to you. Now, I'd hardly call that toothless, Princess.
And it's quite the hunting party. Robert just went with one guard and then Lancel Lannister to give him his wine. Oh, and his brother too. But Viserys is pulling up with like a battalion.
The beast is upward of 35 stone. We now have his trail.
I've never been one for signs of importance, Your Grace, but if the gods did wish to show their favor...
Such a manipulator. I don't trust Otto.
I hope it might provide the killing stroke against your white heart.
Thank you for your generosity.
Now let me marry your daughter.
Honored to take the Princess Rhaenyra to wife.
Exactly what I said.
And to name young Aegon heir, Your Grace.
And when would I be doing that?
I had assumed
It is your sworn duty to report rebellion stirring in my kingdom.
Rebellion? There has been nothing of the sort, Your Grace.
I did not decide.
Wine.
Now he's sounding like Robert.
And he'd be waking 3 times in the night to piss into a bowl. Wine!
God, dude, look at that chair.
One perhaps you might be more comfortable with, one closer to home. Prince Aegon. But it would cease the endless proposals for Rhaenyra's hand. Betrothed, I came here to hunt.
Damn, bro. Otto is such a schemer. It must suck to be king. He does not look like he's having a good time. I don't know if Rhaenyra will ever marry, but I just always kind of predicted it would be Daemon for some reason.
Shares blood with your cousin, the Princess Rhaenys, and he is the heir to the wealthiest house in the realm.
So the Velaryons are wealthier than the Lannisters at this point in time. Did not know that.
Tell me something, Sir Kristen. Do you think the realm will ever accept me as their queen?
I have no choice but to, Princess.
Oh, what's spooking the horses? Is he gonna be the deer? Oh god, jump scare. Oh, watch out! Holy shit. Oh god, he's gonna King Robert her. Man, the boars of the Kingswood are very dangerous for royalty.
A male babe, born to me, wearing the conqueror's crown. I sought that vision again, night after night. But it never came again. I thought Rhaenyra was the way out of my abyss of grief and regret. That I would have a son. What if I was wrong?
Your Grace. For the kill.
I could never do this. There's no way I'd be able to do this. I don't have it in me.
One more time, Your Grace. Put a bit to your left.
Dude, this guy can't even put it out of its misery, right? Oh, this fucking sound design. It's gonna kill me. You know, I'm not some nature animal activist, but I don't know why there's a necessity for these kind of scenes. I guess it's the show tradition and a way of life, but I hate these kind of scenes. Killing animals, torturing animals. Kind of reminds me of when Theon was beheading Sir Roderick and he couldn't even execute him properly. It shows that even though they're calling themselves a leader, they might not be suited for the role, as I've been hearing that when you cut your hand on the Iron Throne, it means that you're not worthy of it. Oh, there's the white deer. That's so ironic she got to see it. Someone's excited. See the side face the king was given? He's like, the fuck?
Had my grandson,
The ladies Lannister and Redwine were quite taken with him.
as they should be. He's the future of the realm. When you bore the king a son, you ended 15 years of uncertainty and doubt. Aegon, like his namesake, was born to rule the Seven Kingdoms. The road ahead is uncertain, but the end is clear. Aegon will be king. He must guide Viserys towards reason.
Does that say Daemon Targaryen?
Vaemon Velaryon.
Sea Snake's brother.
Okay, I was close. Vaemon, not Daemon. Okay. So the king won't interfere with the Stepstone ordeal, but he's just leaving House Velaryon and Daemon to clean it up.
Then why not send it?
Because it is a war started by two malcontents, unhappy with decisions I made.
Oh shit, what the fuck happened to his fingers? Is that from what I said earlier? Cutting his hand on the throne?
Is it better for the realm if the crab feeder thrives, or is vanquished?
Just get straight to the point with that.
Cause you mean to replace me with Alicent Hightower's son, the boy you always wanted.
That as rulers we must marry for advantage, to forge alliances and bolster our strength. You have always understood this. I do not seek to replace you, child. You've been much alone these last few years, alone and angry. Search him out. Find one that pleases you, as I did.
Let her choose. Oh, that's sort of meeting halfway. Okay, I'm still trying to know where the Stepstones are. I'm not quite sure. They said from the free cities, so this has to be around the Narrow Sea, or at least like on the border of the south.
I would say we have a fortnight, perhaps a bit longer with strict rationing. I've made call for Driftmark to send more ships.
This one shot. Holy fuck, dude. This is such an amazing shot. That's impressive from a technical standpoint.
Dragons can circle bloodstone.
Ah, the seahorse is his sigil.
All of you played in his council, uncle.
God, I love that dragon.
King's Landing will not support Daemon. Why should any of us?
Blood or no, Vaemond, I will not have you stoke mutiny.
Very intense war camp. So his name is Vaemond with the D at the end. I thought it was Vaemon. Vaemon and Daemon. What a duo they could be.
Lord of the Seven Kingdoms and protector of the realm.
Okay, why did what did he do that for?
It's instead my hope that this aid will deliver the victory that has thus far evaded us.
So does he not want the aid? He wants to do it himself? What is he up to? Surrendering. Is this a trick? Is dragons gonna come from behind? Well, I can see why they called the Stepstones. Literally, they look like steps. Draw. He's gonna stab him. Yeah. Okay. He's just gonna one-man army this shit. Well, he's a really good fighter. That much is apparent. Damn, bro's hustling. Jesus. He's booking it. Keeping an eye in the sky. God damn. Is he buying time for the army to show up? This is like a Connor Kenway in the Assassin's Creed trailer. Literal one-man army. Shit is awesome. Damn, you're lucky none went through those gaps. Still looking in the sky, waiting for it. Dark Sister. What a shot. Yep, they arrived. Oh, right in a circle. Oh, wait, who's that? Oh, that's Corlys Velarion's son, right? You didn't see it before? Or maybe he's pointing out it's close to us. But he was so surprised. So is this with Viserys' men, or did he do this prematurely so he could claim victory before his brother had any interference. As he said, Damon would rather die than sort of admit he needs help. Oh, that dragon is really cool too. There's so many cool dragons. This one looks more classic though. Like a reskin of Drogon, which is awesome. The hell is that thing? Oh, it's somebody chopped in half. What the? Is that a crab feeder? I thought it was like a sack. It's like he like cleaves somebody in half. Yeah. He got the crab feeder. Holy shit. Damn. The Butcher of Blaviken. Literally Geralt of Rivia'd him. There's a bit I want to talk about. Just something before I forget to mention is I'm surprised Aegon, Viserys and Alicent's son, I'm surprised he has the white hair. Because Jon didn't have the white hair. So I always assumed that you need 2 Valyrian bloods to like 100% have the white hair. But I guess it's more so a recessive gene. But Alicent's not. I don't know. So I guess there's just like a small chance that they could have the white hair. But because the joke is, if Jon was born with white hair, then he would have been killed so fast. Robert would have found out that shit, like that he's a Targaryen, but he had sort of brownish black, darker hair. So I was just surprised when I saw Viserys' new son. And it's like old Viserys, which is technically new Viserys, Daenerys' brother, back in Game of Thrones, when she was pregnant and talking and saying that she's going to have Drogon's child, he said he wouldn't be a full dragon because he's not 100% Targaryen. So is that the case here too? So if like Aegon grew up, it's true that anyone can ride a dragon under a number of circumstances. The first would be the dragon cradle method. But then also I know this is more so in lore, like instances of like just dragons bonding with just regular normal people and then they could ride them. But I'm just more talking about like they are the embodiment of the dragon, like Daenerys, they can't get burnt. I know in the books it's different, like she can't just walk through fire. It like hurts, but she has more of like a high tolerance and will actually lose her hair. But they did it differently for Game of Thrones, so I'm just wondering if the canon or if it like how it works is still the same. And I don't mean to be negative. It's nothing about the quality of the show. I absolutely love it. But I said this last episode where I said I know there's going to be an enormous time jump of around 10 plus years or something like that. I've always said I don't like time jumps. That's just my opinion. That's my personal taste. I just like when there's a sort of a run through and culmination of events that are fairly spaced out, but the pacing is consistent. So if it's a few days and then we keep hopping, I want to feel the impact of travel. That's why I loved earlier Game of Thrones when you could sort of see the characters on their journey to and from King's Landing, see them on the King's Road, in the woods, camping. You felt like, wow, we're really traveling here. I can sense time and maturity, not just the characters, but the story at large is getting a bit more defined because we have variables that can account for a number of things and time. And then in the later season of Game of Thrones, when they just were like, oh, we're in one place and now in the next scene we're 1,000, 2,000 miles away. So I just never liked that. But here they're doing it differently where it's enormous time jumps. When Rhaenyra was saying that she hasn't seen her uncle in years and they were just together last episode. It's not my favorite thing, but I understand because this is more so a history of events that didn't happen at the exact same time. They're just trying to be sort of accurate or represent it well enough. So I understand that. I do. Game of Thrones versus this, it's a completely different thing because Game of Thrones was sort of like all people scheming to get the Iron Throne and a huge wide array of Westeros and events going on all across the world. It wasn't just self-contained to one family and everything going around in that one particular family as this is. So I understand that it's the Targaryens and in this time period the dates of when major things happen. So again, I get that. I wish it was I wish it was different, but it wouldn't work if it was different. So I'm just gonna take my loss. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the show. Again, this one was more action-packed, as I said beforehand. I knew this one was going to be sort of like battle-esque or have more action, which it did. A lot of fantastic shots. I have to say, this is gonna, it's hard because I know the Lord of the Rings show came out. I'm not watching that. I'm not gonna watch that because that's just, I couldn't really get into Lord of the Rings, and I just don't think the show looks like it. It doesn't speak to me like it's something I'd be interested in, just like the original Lord of the Rings, which people will probably be surprised by, but I just never got into that. I was saying from a visual standpoint, I feel like this show is going to win awards, but then I saw the Lord of the Rings, some of the stills. I'm like, damn, that's going to be a close competition. But there were a lot of great shots in this particular episode, I will say. And I also mentioned earlier with Viserys, I saw he had 2 missing fingers, and I was wondering if that's because of that throne sort of theory or legend that the people of Westeros, and sort of like George R.R. Martin wrote, that bad rulers will often get cut by the Iron Throne, and it looks like that is a result as why he lost his fingers, because the last episode he cut his finger again, and then they were sort of like trying to get away the dead flesh with maggots because he got infected or something. So yeah, damn, it kind of shows, because my opinion on Viserys is I don't think he's not quite lost as some characters we have seen in various medias, when you can tell a person is like truly lost, like Theon. Now you are truly lost. Like, Viserys is not lost, but I feel like he's losing a way if he ever had one. I haven't been with the character enough to determine what kind of man he is and what his way was, but from what I've seen briefly, I don't think he's a cruel man. I've said that before. I don't think he's the best ruler. You don't need to do great things or accomplish wonders to be a great ruler. It's as long as you keep your people fed and alive, you're a pretty solid ruler if you put your people first. And I mean, I don't see any sort of tension outside of Otto. Everyone seems to be loyal, and no major wars, well, besides the Stepstone ordeal, and Daemon's dealing with that. So I wouldn't really determine he's a bad ruler, but I just, from what I've seen, I don't think he's suited for the throne. It looks like something he was just, that was thrown his way, as it really was with the sort of like Great Council at Harrenhal. Oh my god, at this point it was probably 12 or 13 years ago when he was first named king. But he's also not a very involved ruler. I see at the end that he was sort of persuaded by Alicent to enter the fray, but he, for the pretty much the large part and the only part, he stayed away from it entirely. He wanted no participation in it himself. He did not care. And we've seen that from the very first episodes, where he said these little small things, they culminate to war, and he wants to stay away from war. And I wouldn't say anyone sort of brands him a bad ruler, but again, it's just from my own perception of him. I don't think he's suited for the throne. He's not a bad man. He's not a cruel man, but he's not where he's supposed to be, because some people, roles are born for them, but I don't think he was born to be king, personally. Kind of reminds me of, again, Game of Thrones and the books. I know they did this differently, but Prince... What was his name? I don't think it's Duran. Oberyn Martell's brother, as I said, because I know a lot of book readers had an issue with the way they did this sort of Dorne storyline, to where they completely changed it and they made it bland. So I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about his sort of characterization on what we've seen in live action, where he sat in the water gardens and would often say that he didn't want to act out in war. He didn't want violence. He just chose to sit in his garden and almost do what he's told, in a way. And Viserys is much like that, but I think he's more inclined to come to the decision based on what others are saying. As I pointed out a number of times, Otto is a massive schemer, and he's always saying shit for the king to decide, and sometimes he'll be like, yeah, no, and then other times he's like, okay, I'll give into that. With Alicent, he sent his daughter to the king's room a number of times because he wanted her to marry him, and he wanted his grandson to be the heir of the realm, the Westeros, the Iron Throne. And it all worked out, and you could see him with the smirk, and he's like counting his money in the corner. He's like, hey. So he is led astray by a number of people, and I mean, all these people are plotting, like, hey, we want to marry your daughter. You should do this, you should do that. And it sucks, because he's in that position of trying to make his own decision, but there's so many opinions and other people's proposals weighing down on him. So when Daemon said, you're weak, brother, I wouldn't say he's right, but I also would not say he's wrong. That's pretty much all I have to say about this episode. If you have anything you want to ask me, just feel free to do so in the comments, because as I said, a lot of times what I do is when I watch things, I'm like, I'm going to have to remember to talk about this in the outro because I'm confused about it, or I'm just wondering about it, and then I'll record it, and then the next day or two, I'll be like, oh shit, I forgot to talk about that. So again, if there's anything you want to know or want to ask me or want to talk about, feel free to do so, because I will happily respond. Because I am enjoying the show. I might not love it yet. I don't know if I ever will, but I'm like definitely enjoying it. So yeah, again, let me know what you guys think. And until then, I'll catch you folks in my next reaction, which is season 1 finale of Daredevil. And then another one after that, and an X-Men movie reaction, all coming later this week. So yeah, catch you folks in those next videos.